the basic freedom of speech is that everybody has the right to express whatever their feelings are. And it's not restricted only to speech, it is freedom of speech and expression, which includes every other form. Like you're making a documentary right now, then we have music, we have films, there are art films, paintings, anything for that matter that expresses your particular opinion.
I have freedom of speech here, but if I start calling people names and then I start making inflammatory speeches and start inciting a mob to kill other people, that is obviously a bad example of, this is an abuse of the right to speech.
A lot of thinkers, political thinkers, have contemplated a world where freedom of speech should be absolute. There should be no restriction.
It's a big responsibility in itself. It's also a power and also a responsibility. Like with power comes the responsibility. So
Freedom of speech is very important, but saying that there are no curbs on it, there can be no curbs on it, it should not be curtailed, is wrong.
However, when we look at the practical aspect, there are a lot of reasons why restrictions are imposed, like governmental safety and safety of the people, then public morality, and a lot of things into play.
When people don't have a voice and people don't understand what's going on, they need somebody to do it for them. They need somebody to clean up that dirt. And when it comes to the internet, the hackers are people who are the ones who clean up this dirt, or hacktivists are the ones who clean up this dirt.
Someone who gets access to something is not supposed to, or she is not supposed to.
I'll just explain to you with an example exactly what a hacker is. Then that act is called hacking, and the person who does it is a hacker.
Hacker cheater है.
It's in a way spying on other people, like prying into their lives or their professions, their jobs, their work.
He's a thief.
Very personally, I've seen one of my friend go through all this.
किसी का भी पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में जान सकता है.
So that guy could take all the pictures, he could Photoshop all of them, and he could come up with a site, and he posted it on that.
कोई भी सोशल एक्टिविटीज़ के बारे में हैक करके he can misuse.
Every movie you talk about, a sci-fi movie or a James Bond movie, would have a team of 5 members, and one out of those will always be a very geeky guy, a hacker type of person who can get into a lift, who can steal their data, who can stop, who can shut down all the lights.
You're saying hacking is good?
Yeah, because there's basic difference between these two, right? What happens in hacking is, with the consent of the owner, you do it. Without the consent, it's known as cracking.
Yeah. Okay, I accept.
Which is in general perception is not known to people.
I see it as Robin Hood that steals from rich people and gives to the poor people. So a good hacker will be someone that does it that way. Yeah, that one that wants to go against the politicians about the bad.
I would fall in the grey hat category. On a regular day, I'm a normal office-going person. I spend most of my time building simple applications and back-end data collection boards simple kind of stuff that a programmer would do every day.
And what do you do at night?
At night is where the fun starts. By night, we actually relay or search the internet for a lot of companies that have a lot of loopholes within their sites and find ways to show these people how poor their security is in exchange, sometimes for exchange of money.
What do you think are the ingredients of a good hacker?
Number one, a good hate for the system. To be driven enough to actually hate the system and try to bring change about it. To try and see through their walls of see what lies beneath the beneath. Second is good technical knowledge, man. You can't be not hands-on and learn this shit. Just keep digging and digging and digging.
जैसे काला जादू और सफ़ेद जादू होता है, ठीक है, तो दोनों भी जादू है, बट सफ़ेद जादू जो है वो लोगों को दुरुस्त करने के लिए यूज़ होता है और काला जादू उनको और परेशान करने के लिए. तो ये टर्म्स है कि हैकर एंड एथिकल हैकर.
They're like the vigilantes of the internet world, to make it simple. What they're doing is not right, it's not ethical, but they do it for the good of people.
If you do it with the owner's consent, it's hacking. And if you do it without owner's consent, it's cracking. As simple as that. Earlier, hacking in itself was a crime under IT Act 2000. Now what has happened is, hacking has been constituted, yes, it's a positive term. Now, cracking has been introduced as an offense.
Black hats like me do it for the power trip. I just love it. I do it for no other reason. I'm not here to beef up the security or anything.
Black hats are people who would hack or get unauthorized information from industries, from companies. They don't notify the company that there is this kind of a loophole within their systems, but they keep mum and they start pulling in all that data and they start using that data to probably steal credit card numbers, money from banks and that kind of stuff.
White hats are just like security personnel, man.
They don't do it for any reasons to actually hurt or try to extort something out from the audience, or companies hire a bunch of hackers to find out if there are any loopholes within their system.
The grey hats are a little more opportunistic. Suppose you find a break in the system, you see it, exploit it. Tell the company that, found a break, you can exploit it, and you extort money from them. I don't think there's any freedom of speech anymore. Go on Twitter, say anything against Modi, his fucking ghost will come and they'll just spam your shit.
Yeah, there are incidents like the government trying to control people's reactions to the government in some way or the other.
A lot of these huge social media websites, they control what kind of media is pushed out to people. So tomorrow, some rich dude who's probably killed someone, even if it's all over the internet, and he wants to put a stop to all of that stuff, all he needs to do is pay these companies and tell them, don't publish the stories around, and these companies do it.
Recently the flooding was there, right? Okay, in Kashmir, right? So social media, a lot of activities, social media, within seconds the news, okay, it spreads everywhere, okay, through the corners of the world, okay?
The whole Arab Spring actually happened because of the power of people getting together on social networking sites through social media. So this has also empowered people in a big way.
I'm a supporter of anarchy when it comes to that, honestly. So I think there is no distinction between any of that. The only restriction that could probably be put is only when it comes to, how do I put it, when public safety is involved.
It has its pros and cons. When you allow people to take control of the entire system, they're basically free to do whatever they want. It's like the mindset piece that we spoke about, or where people draw lines. One set of the group says this is where I draw the line, or this is where the line is drawn, so people can't cross that, or they should not be crossing that.
There is some man, British man, he's walking with his umbrella and he's rolling it like this. and that umbrella is rolling, and it hits, the tip of the umbrella hits a person on the nose. So that person says, please don't do that, that is hurting me. He says, I have the freedom, that's my umbrella, I'm living in a free country.
Yes.
I can roll it whenever I want. He says, your right stops where my nose begins.
Exactly.
So where
It's
your
a-
nose
you-
begins is the reasonable restrictions that are put.
Exactly.
That is your line, drawn between anarchy and freedom of speech.
Dark internet. That refers to, all the network hosts that no one can reach.
It's a dungeon where you'll probably find a bunch of illegal activities happening. It could be anything. It could be drugs, it could be weapons, it could be flesh trade, it could be anything. Anything that would be deemed or deemed incorrect in society. A lot of people who don't know, who are just moving into the digital age or the internet age, are taken for a huge ride.
The new world was being fought online, man. That's how it goes. So now governments are too afraid because of weapons of mass destruction. That's not the case. The fighting was every day, day in, day out. All the guerrilla warfare is happening online.
They start mounting attack on our Indian websites, okay? Right? Different countries, all the countries, one country or another, there's a cyber armies also there, right? In, like we can say, we're a military. There's a cyber army for China. From 5 standards towards, they have the cyber army is there.
There's just somebody who wants to be one above the other. So you have one hacker who pulls out information of 10,000 users or 20,000 users, and he says, this is the thing that's happening. And then you have another hacker says, 10, 20,000, that's nothing. He pulls out probably 200,000. I like to call it a childish war, at which a lot of regular people have to pay the price for.
Just don't believe the corporations. Keep the fire within your life and fuck the corporations.
It's history all over again. It could be David Goliath or Karan Arjun or whatever you want to call it.
Citizens of India, greetings from Anonymous Collective. Since many days, we have been observing, once again, the government is at its games, trying to get the social media, which is the only remaining venue of free speech.